Beginning. The mistake that changed everything. My name is Kaylin Ward, and I was the least important person aboard the diplomatic vessel Silverwind. I wasn't a diplomat, a commander, or a decorated hero. I was maintenance. More specifically, environmental maintenance. Air filters, lighting nodes, humidity stabilizers. If it buzzed or flickered, I fixed it. So when our delegation arrived at the astral palace of the Alienempire, I expected to stay in the shuttle bay and repair whatever the diplomats broke. But life has a way of throwing people like me into situations far above our pay grade. The Alienempire was the oldest known civilization in our quadrant. Mysterious winged aliens with eerie bioluminescent skin and legendary psychic abilities. Their capital palace was a floating fortress suspended above a sea of drifting nebula clouds. And at its heart lived their ruler, Queen Valoria.
Terrifying.
Regal. Brilliant. One of the most powerful beings alive. But the one who truly amazed the galaxy wasn't the queen. It was her daughter, Princess Erin Valoria. Calm, curious, and far kinder than any royal stereotype. She was rumored to oppose war, champion peace, and secretly study human culture. Rumors I dismissed. Until everything went horribly, disastrously wrong. Until I ended up in her private room. And the queen stormed in with the force of a dying star. The wrong room. The problem began with a simple task. One of the human diplomats requested a high-quality air humidifier from our ship's storage. I went to retrieve it, but as we unloaded equipment inside the palace, a floating crystalline drone approached me. Human technician. It chirped, follow. I shrugged and followed. The palace was enormous. Wide glowing corridors, hovering staircases, murals depicting stars being born. The drone weaved through passageways, then stopped at a door made of polished obsidian crystal. This chamber requires maintenance, it announced. Enter. The door slid open. I stepped inside. The room was breathtaking. Soft light glowed from walls lined with floating glyphs. A massive window overlooked the shifting storms of the nebula below. A scent like blooming silver flowers hung in the air. But most importantly, no one was inside. Just a malfunctioning ceiling vent that was whining loudly. Right? I muttered. Just a vent. Easy fix. I set my tools down and climbed onto a crystalline platform to reach it. I was halfway through unscrewing the vent cover when the door behind me opened. Soft footsteps entered. Then someone cleared their throat. I looked down and immediately forgot how lungs worked. Princess Erin stood at the center of the room, her faintly glowing wings folded at her sides, her long silver hair drifting in an invisible breeze. Her eyes, bright crystalline blue, studied me with curiosity, not anger. "Oh," she said softly. "Hello." I froze. "Hi," I squeaked.
Smooth.
Very smooth. She stepped closer. "You're human." Yes. Her lips curved into a small smile. "You're repairing my room's air vent." My brain stalled. Your room?" She nodded.
Yes.
"This is my chamber." I nearly fell off the platform. I was told this needed maintenance. I didn't know it was. She raised a calming hand. "It's all right. I'm not upset." She said it gently, warmly,
Comfortingly.
and even though I knew I shouldn't stare, it was impossible not to. Her presence felt like standing in sunlight, gentle but overwhelming. She tilted her head slightly. "You're staring." I flushed. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean." "It's fine," she said with a curious smile. "Humans are expressive. It's endearing." I was about to explain myself when suddenly, the chamber doors slammed open, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop. The queen arrives. Queen Valoria stormed into the room, her wings flaring with crackling energy, her eyes burning with a fierce violet light. She radiated the kind of presence that made soldiers kneel and empires tremble. And she was looking directly at me. The air itself seemed to vibrate as she thundered. "Why are you in my daughter's room?" The entire palace might have heard her. I nearly fell off the platform again, but this time from sheer terror. "Your Majesty," I yelped. I didn't mean I wasn't. A blast of psychic pressure hit the room like a tidal wave. I clung to the vent for dear life. Aaron rushed forward. "Mother, stop. He's just a technician." Veiloria's glare intensified. "A male human technician," she growled. "In your private chamber." I dropped the screwdriver. It clanged loudly. Worst timing in the galaxy. "Your Majesty, I swear," I choked out. I didn't know whose room this was. "A drone brought me here." The Queen's wings crackled with electricity. "Drones do not air." "That one did," I squeaked. Aaron stepped between us, spreading her wings protectively. "He did nothing wrong." Veiloria's eyes narrowed. "You defend him?" "Yes," Aaron said firmly. What she said next would change everything. "He is the first human who has entered my personal space without fear or greed. And he treats me like a person, not a prophecy." My heart stopped. The Queen looked at her daughter, then at me, then back at Aaron. Something unreadable flashed across her expression. Before she could speak, an explosion rocked the palace. The attack. Glowing cracks crawled across the balcony window. A shockwave burst inward. The force hurled me backward into a crystalline table. Aaron stumbled. Veiloria shielded her with one arm. Guards stormed into the room instantly, weapons drawn. "Rebel infiltrators in the palace," one shouted. "Hunt them down," Veiloria commanded. I pushed myself up, dizzy but alive. Another blast hit the outer wall. 3 masked attackers burst through the shattered balcony barrier, shimmering blades in hand. Aaron gasped. The nearest attacker lunged at her. Without thinking, I grabbed a fallen guard's energy baton. "Aaron, look out!" I sprinted across the room. The assassin slashed at her. I rammed the baton into his ribs. He collapsed with a crack of blue light. 2 more attackers rushed forward. Veiloria unleashed a psychic shockwave that flung one into the wall. The other attacker, fast, skilled, darted around her defenses and charged toward Aaron. "No!" Veiloria roared. I didn't hesitate. I threw myself in front of the attacker. His blade plunged toward me. Aaron screamed, but the blade never touched me. A shield of pure white energy flared around my body, knocking the attacker backward. Everyone froze, even the assassin. Aaron's eyes widened. "Mother, he has the resonant aura." Veiloria's expression shifted instantly. "What?" Aaron approached me carefully. "It only activates through emotional instinct." I swallowed hard. I don't know what happened." Aaron whispered. "You protected me." Veiloria looked at me with a mixture of suspicion and something else. Recognition.
Fear. Hope.
But before anyone could question it further, guards subdued the remaining attackers. The danger was over, but the room was filled with something new. Silence. And revelation. After the battle, I sat on a crystal bench, breathing heavily, while Aaron gently examined my bruised arm. Veiloria watched us carefully. "You risked your life," she said coldly. "I didn't think," I admitted. "I just moved." "That is what concerns me," she replied. Aaron shot her a glare. "Mother, he saved me. Twice." Veiloria turned toward her daughter. "And that is precisely the problem." Aaron frowned. "What do you mean?" The Queen took a long breath. Then, the last person who manifested a resonant aura near a member of the royal family became bonded to them. Aaron froze. My jaw dropped. Bonded. I squeaked. As in, a life partner, Vealoria finished. I nearly passed out. No. That must be a mistake. I'm human. I fix vents. Vealoria stepped closer, her expression unreadable. Yet you unlocked a dormant ability that even our own people struggle to manifest. Aaron's cheeks glowed faintly. Mother, he didn't do it consciously. That is what makes it more binding, Vealoria said quietly. I stared at the floor. I don't want to cause trouble. Aaron gently placed her glowing hand over mine. You're not causing anything, she whispered. You saved my life. The Queen studied our hands, and something softened in her expression, ending the Queen's verdict. Hours later, Vealoria summoned us to the Hall of Radiance. Guards flanked the room. A council watched in silence as Vealoria approached. She stood tall, wings glowing. Kalen Ward. My name echoed through the chamber. I stepped forward nervously. Yes, Your Majesty. You entered my daughter's chambers unlawfully. I swear I didn't mean to. You fought to protect her. It was instinct. You unlocked a power no human has wielded in centuries. That I can't explain. The Queen's wings lowered slightly. And you risked everything without hesitation. Aaron stepped beside me. He is kind, she whispered, and brave. Vealoria closed her eyes briefly. When she opened them, her voice had changed.
Softer.
Decisive. Kalen Ward, I accused you. I doubted you. She paused. But I also saw your heart. The hall went silent. Therefore, the Queen continued, I declare that you are under royal protection. I exhaled. And furthermore, my lungs stopped again. I recognized the bond formed between you and my daughter. My vision blurred. Aaron squeezed my hand, wings trembling with emotion. Vealoria's voice softened to something almost warm. You may stay in this palace, at my daughter's side. Aaron's eyes shimmered. So he may choose, she whispered. Yes, the Queen said. His choice and yours. Aaron turned to me and smiled a smile that lit the chamber brighter than any star. Kalen, she murmured. Will you stay? I looked at her, really looked at her. The princess whose kindness had shocked me. The one I had instinctively protected. The one who had looked at me not with suspicion, but with trust. Yes, I breathed. I'll stay. Aaron's wings unfurled in joy. Vealoria exhaled softly, relieved, even proud. The hall erupted in cheers. And that was the moment I realized. A broken vent had changed my life. A wrong door had opened the right future. And a queen's roar had become the first step toward a destiny I never expected.